Hello, my name is Douglas Bloch. I'm an author, mental health counselor, and depression survivor. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. The title of today's video is 5 Steps to Relapse Prevention. But of course, we have to start with a little bit of humor, as is customary. So, what did one elevator say to the other? I think I'm coming down with something. All right, so as I said, the title of today's video is 5 Steps to Relapse Prevention. And in my book, When Going Through Hell Don't Stop, my memoir of depression recovery, I said there were two phases or two parts to recovering from depression. Part 1 was getting out of hell, and Part 2 was staying out. Now, why is there a Part 2? This is because depression is a chronic relapsing condition, just like addiction. So if you've had a depressive episode, chances are, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years, you're going to have another. This is why it's important to practice relapse prevention on a regular basis. But you may say, why does the term relapse apply to me? I thought only those with alcoholism or addiction relapsed. Now, it is true, when you hear the word relapse, you think of people relapsing into drugs and alcohol. That's why I'm going to coin a new phrase to replace relapse prevention. I'm going to call it episode prevention. So we who have depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder are concerned with episode prevention. And the purpose of this video is to give you a 5-step process to prevent future episodes of depression, anxiety, or bipolar disorder. So here are the 5 steps. Step 1 is be prepared. Start by making a list of those people that you can turn to in case you find yourself slipping. They could be a prescriber, a counselor, a family member, a friend, sponsor, mentor, a minister, priest, or rabbi, someone you can turn to if you feel yourself going downhill. In addition, make a list of what I call your personal triggers, those thoughts, events, or situations that can initiate an episode of depression or anxiety. Here's a list of some of the triggers that my clients say they try to avoid. Violent movies, extreme heat, losing sleep, forgetting to eat, eating sugar when feeling blue, taking on too many projects, being around argumentative or angry people, spending time around an ex-partner, ruminating about painful past events. Once you've identified your personal triggers, make every effort you can to avoid these situations, events, or people. Step 2, pay attention. This means checking in with yourself on a regular basis to see how you're doing. And I describe this process in my video called the 5-Minute Daily Check-In, in which I recommend setting aside 5 minutes each day, going inside and asking, how are you feeling right now? How are you doing? What do you need? And while you're doing this process, look over the past 1 or 2 weeks and ask yourself if you've noticed any early warning signs of falling into a dip. This can mean changes in your thinking, your feeling, your physiology, or your behavior that may indicate a depressive downturn. And here are some examples. Having disturbances in your sleep, feeling more tired than usual, worrying more than usual, having increased anxiety, lacking motivation and feeling apathetic, withdrawing from friends and others, having feelings of hopelessness, and feeling as if nothing brings you pleasure. Sometimes these changes may be so subtle that you overlook them. That's why it's good to have a good friend or family member to monitor your moods. This is especially true if you suffer from bipolar disorder or becoming manic. Because being manic feels so good, you are unlikely to recognize that anything is wrong. Here's step 3. Dip into your recovery toolkit so you can practice those practical skills and coping strategies that we talk about on this channel. And here are some of the things you can do. First, you can call your psychiatrist or your prescriber, see if your medication needs to be evaluated or maybe adjusted. You can also call your therapist or counselor and maybe schedule an extra session. You can call your support team and let them know you're in crisis and ask them to hold you in the light. You can go ahead and take a day or 2 off from your responsibilities. You can also do something nurturing for your physical body, like taking a long walk or getting a massage or a hot bath or jacuzzi. And the other thing you can do is you can monitor your thoughts closely. If you notice that you're starting to catastrophize, just tell yourself that you can get through this with the right kind of support and that this too shall pass. And last but not least, if you're open to prayer, call a telephone prayer ministry and have them pray for you. I list a number of these organizations on my website, and my favorite, of course, is Silent Unity. I did a whole video on them. If you want to contact them, simply Google the name Silent Unity and their contact information will come right up. Now, once you've done all this, these first 3 steps, hopefully you've caught your depressive episode early. It's only a dip, not an episode. But even if you have, be patient, because it does take a time to recover from depression, and give yourself 2 to 6 weeks to feel better, especially if you're taking a brand new antidepressant. Step 4. If the first 3 strategies don't work and you find your symptoms persisting or getting even worse, then it's time to pursue higher levels of treatment. These include IOP, intensive outpatient programs, TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation, ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, and if you think that things are falling apart or you may be a danger to yourself, going to the hospital. I make and made videos on each of these on this video channel, and I have links to them in the description section of this video. And the thing to remember, of course, is that depression is not forever. Hopefully one of these things will work. Usually will take about 3 to 6 weeks, so try to be patient. As my wife used to tell her students in Montessori, put on your patience and give it some time. The point, as I said, is to remember that depression is treatable, these symptoms are not forever, and this too shall pass. Step 5. Once you emerge from your episode, continue to use the same tools and strategies that you used to get well. This is because depression and healing from depression is not just a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. But this is actually good news, because practicing these recovery techniques will not only help you to avoid another episode of depression or anxiety, it will improve your overall health and well-being. The moral of the story is that old adage, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. It's much easier to avoid a depressive episode than to heal from one. It's much easier to avoid falling into a pit than climbing out of a pit. So I encourage you to practice these 5 steps so that your dips or downturns are limited and don't turn into full depressive episodes. This has been Douglas Bloch. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you did so, please give it a like. I hope you learned something from it also. That's the whole point of these videos, right? Education, mental health recovery. If you want to subscribe to this channel, first of all, if you want to leave comments, please do so in the comments section, or you can email me, douglasbloch@gmail.com. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, if you haven't already done so, when the closing credits come, click on my photo. You'll be taken to the subscribe page, and you can click on that word. And if you click on the bell to the right of it, you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. If you want to visit my website, healingfromdepression.com, click on the book. And if you want to watch some more videos, click on those videos. And until we meet again, I wish you the best in your mental health recovery. Thank you for watching.